Do you want to start the show off with a little game, Cahill?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at games, so I think I'll give it a go.
A little round of guess the quote. Who said this quote this week? And I quote, I worked a lot this summer. Many people have talked about me. I don't talk, and I show what I'm worth on the pitch.
Okay. Who's playing well? Well, give me a hint. Give me a hint. Is that loud?
Yeah, I can give you a hint. He's a 30-year-old striker.
Okay, and he must be playing well. And he's proven the doubters wrong.
He's proven the doubters wrong.
I know. From last week's Patreon episode, Will, it must be Mauro Cardi. 12 goals, 14 games, 2 assists, Champions League goals, the lot. You know, he's flying it. And a lot of people were saying, you know, he should be in that Argentina squad. And I know his personal decisions, all that stuff, you know, come against him. But I'm going to go with Mauro Cardi.
Well, you'd actually be wrong there. You're close, though. He is, you know, people talk about him. But again, this guy doesn't talk. He shows what he's worth on the pitch.
Doesn't talk.
Think of a different league. He's not in Turkey.
Top 5 league?
Oh, yeah, top 5 league.
Top 5 league. Much maligned striker. Worked hard this summer.
Doesn't talk.
Gotcha. Doesn't talk. Harry Kane. Must be Harry Kane. What's he got? Like 9 goals, 10 assists. 9 goals, 10 games, 5 assists. He's doing the Champions League, doing the Bundesliga. You know, a lot of people said his goal doesn't count for nothing and he'd have to prove them all wrong, but he doesn't talk. He does it on the pitch. Harry Kane.
No, someone who talks, well, again, doesn't talk. Talks less than Kane. Also, I would say a bit of a better league than Bundesliga.
Okay, better league than Bundesliga. Better league than Turkish league. Top 5 league. 30-year-old striker who doesn't talk.
Yeah, never talks. Shows what he's worth on the pitch, famously.
Okay.
And he's banging them in.
Yeah, he's banging them in. Okay. Oh, I gotcha. I was talking about him a couple of weeks ago, I think. Alvaro Morata. Spanish league, tough league, Will. Third best team in that league, of course, Atletico Madrid. 5 goals, 6 games. 5 goals in 6 games, 2-2 in the Champions League. I don't think I know what the man sounds like. If you put him on the phone right now, I wouldn't be able to pick him out. So I'm going to go with Alvaro Morata, 30-year-old striker, never speaks, and he's back in form.
No, you'd be wrong. It's the final one. Again, never talks.
Okay,
not known for talking.
30-year-old striker, pulling up trees, top 5 league, never talks. Will, this was good now.
There you go.
This was niche. It must be Lautaro Martinez. 10 goals in 8 in Serie A, 1 goal in 2 in the Champions League. I mean, he's got 10, 11, 2 assists.
It's not.
And I tell you what, Will, a lot of people said...
It's not Martinez.
Sorry?
It's not Martinez.
It's not Martinez. Well, I can't think of a single 30-year-old striker who doesn't talk, crucially, and is pull up trees and who would do something like this. I give up, Will. I give up. Who is this?
Romelu Lukaku.
No, hang on now, Will. You said
he doesn't talk.
You said he doesn't talk. You said he never talks.
He said I don't talk, and I show what I'm worth on the pitch. That's famously what he does.
Oh well, he must be a masochist because he does it all the time, and he hates it. He doesn't like the up. He does it all the time. What's he done this year? I mean, let me have a look. Oh, 5 goals and 6 in Serie A, 2-2 in the Europa League. Well, that's enough to do an interview, which he famously hates doing.
Yeah, he's talking right now.
Right now, you're talking about not talking.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
That is literally 3 minutes.
A tight 3.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama.
This is a total
Shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
He was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all
Plenty
the
of
time.
time, no problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No One Else's podcast with Cahill and Will. You know what, Will? At the start of the weekend, Man City were top of the league. Depending on results, they could have finished 5th, which is now obviously still in Champions League, so it still works out for City. But it was Brighton and Wolves that denied us what I think would have been an all-time Pep meltdown in the press conference.
Oh my God, there's no coming back. 5th. When is the last time he wasn't even 2nd?
If they dropped from 1st to 5th, I mean, it would have taken...
it's all over. It's game over.
All it would have taken was Liverpool to win against Brighton, which we'll get into later on. And then Aston Villa would have to beat Wolves 3-0, which would have been crazy. And you would have seen Man City 5th on goal difference. But I'm saying you would have seen Pep fake retire.
Yeah.
He was saying, listen, these things happen. Maybe it's because I'm retiring in the season, I'm carrying less. Maybe the hunger's gone from me as well. You know, I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Just like an outright lie, just for the sake of
his
it.
favorite thing.
Yeah. As it is, they're only in third. So it's still a crisis by their standards. I mean, like I said, when was the last time they weren't even in second?
It turned out Rodri is even more important than we all said he was.
Will, we anointed him the best player in the world right now. That does not mean nothing, okay? That's a huge honor.
It's another player. We always say the best players are missed by the hole they leave when they're gone.
Yeah, you only know what you got that's gone. And in the case of Rodri, it's probably compounded by the missing De Bruyne as well, to be fair.
Yes. Which people, it seems like, have forgotten about.
He's been gone for a while now, and I don't know if there's a return date even in mind, is there?
Yeah, this looked like a bad one because it was the same injury again, which is usually like a sign of, this is like going to be a thing from now on.
Yeah. And the thing is with someone like with Sterling or Jesus, who are like excellent players, they're at a level where you can find replacements. They're not cheap and they don't always work out, but someone like De Bruyne is very unique, very special. It's, you're not just going to, we'll just get the next De Bruyne. You know what I mean? We'll get someone similar. It's like, that's why everyone knows who he is. That's why he's so good, because, he is a difference in teams. So that's a huge loss for them. Thankfully, they had Kovacic there to fill the hole in midfield. And
yeah, he gave it a good go, didn't he?
And formerly best player in the world, according to Pep, right now, Nunez, also there in the middle. I mean, this is the thing. They were missing a few. Arsenal were missing Saka. I mean, all before this game, it was like the 87 match streak is over. It's like he's the Undertaker. You know what I mean? It's like, hopefully there's relief now the streak is over. Because it's like, that's all the talk was for the game. How are they going to manage?
I saw a tweet around that in pretty poor taste, but I did give it a good chuckle.
We'll read it out on the show, Will. That's what we're all about.
Someone tweeted that if Arteta was managing Denmark, he would have brought Eriksen back on. Get out there, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for Saka because he came in young when they were bad, and now he's developed into someone great.
Yeah.
So you're the important part of the team. So he's had both ends of like, he's had the kind of Januzaj treatment of like, we need you to do everything for us. Yeah. Now he's in a good team and he's the best player. You can't drop him. So he just played for years now, consistently. But yeah, this is what we're looking at, I think, for the next few years with this.
This is football now.
Increased schedule coming to the Champions League.
Yeah.
There's more and more international games that are more important. These big games are going to come down to who has more of their best players not injured is going to win the game.
Who is the best player in the world available right now?
Yeah, a new award for next year, Because like even last year we were talking about everyone's like, Partey versus Casemiro, who's better? And then by the time that game got played, Casemiro was he was suspended. But then not long after that, Partey was injured. And then Saliba was injured. I mean, this time Saliba was playing. But Osaka, it's like, will we ever see, Man City?
The best 11. That only happens in FIFA now.
Honest to God, it's a fantasy to have all 11 players fit of your starting team. And these are the best, most, the deepest squads in the world we're talking about.
Yeah.
So it was disappointing in that sense because it's like, last year it was Rob Holding who was on Haaland. It was like complete fucking mismatch. This year it'd say, yeah, well, it would be nice to see Rice versus Rodri. But, who's better? Who's the actual... I mean, I can remember those Liverpool City games. I'm pretty sure I'm saying they had a few games where everyone was fit, and they were unbelievable games.
They were ridiculous.
Like I was talking about the on the Patreon there last week, the Napoli versus Real Madrid. It was like, this is a joy to watch players figuring out problems at like the highest level. But like, there was some of this game that was like, right, we're both missing players. Let's not make a mistake here.
Yeah. Cagey.
Pretty drab. A chess match of a game, Will.
Which is always code for shite.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen Sky Sports chess pop up on my scroll there. They went with kabaddi for a while, professional kabaddi, but not chess for some reason. So maybe you describe a game as a chess match. It's like, well, Sky Sports wouldn't show this, and they show any old shit. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
3 shots on target in the whole game.
City had one shot on target the whole game.
I don't know if the goal even counted as a shot on target. I think that might be going wide.
Yeah, because it smashed off Ake's face.
Yeah, it may have been going wide of the post. That's not even a shot on target. I mean, it was one of those games where I think City were like, this is a tough place to go without your starting midfield, essentially. Let's just try
and we've lost back-to-back for the first time in 5 years.
Yes, 3 their last domestic games, if you count the cup game against Newcastle. Crisis, City in crisis. Print it.
Did you hear Pep when he was asked about that?
Yeah, I'm sure he was very magnanimous and just kind of put down to is what it is.
So he's asked about losing back-to-back games for the first time in 5 years. And he said, this is not news. Arsenal beating Man City for the first time after 12 losses. That's news.
Oh, wow. A backhanded compliment, if ever there was one.
He just can't help himself.
115 charges, that was news, and it seemed to disappear.
That's not news anymore.
Bribing referees, that's more recent news. I mean, he's such a...
He's sorry, but a horrible man.
Just take the L. Just take the L and move on. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. Sorry, I mean, I'm too close to the case of this one. I shouldn't have said that, but I mean, it's just the same with like last week at Wolves. They defended really well. They certainly did that really well. It's like the one their players ran like the pitch, give them their fucking dues. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, the 2 games in a row they've lost 2 on goals. They have been unlucky, but no one to hear that. No one to hear that. But I mean, he didn't say that. He just has a dig, a pop shot at Arsenal. Like, wow, 12 times in a row. I bet you're glad that's over. I'd be really embarrassed about that.
It's hard to tell if this is like a year where, wow, it's finally, they've lost the grip on the title, or if this is just the yearly around October where they have a little dip. It's always post-January where they just are relentless and everyone else falls off and they just go from then on. So I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just been more of the same this year.
I think I saw a stat last year. They're 1 point worse off than they were last year.
Yeah,
they were third last year and 1 point off the lead, and then this year they're 2 points off and third. Something very similar, like you're just saying. Basically, it's not new. This isn't news. Actually, this isn't news. Man City being not on top in October is not the problem. It's usually because they have Rodri and they have De Bruyne, and they will play up until they need to. And then when other teams' best players get injured, they don't have Kovacic to come in.
Yeah.
Again, like say if you were playing El Neni there versus Kovacic, I think Kovacic would have done fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the difference between the City and other teams. That like if City have their second stringers, as it were, versus other team's second stringers, they're still better than you as they are first team to first team. So, yeah I mean, that like I said, the biggest battle beforehand was the Saliba versus Haaland, because everyone's like, if we had Saliba last year, I'll tell you what, There was a big pressure on him, but I think it was encapsulated by that moment where I don't know if you saw Haaland like steaming up the pitch. And in my opinion, I think he tried to goad Saliba into fouling him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to charge right into him and he's going to try and grab me or whatever, and I'm going to go down. And he just kind of ran into him. Saliba's like, I better not foul him. And then he just fell down. Yeah. And then everyone's clipping it, but like, he cleaned him out. he rocked him. But I think Haaland was going for like a really soft dive there, and Saliba just like didn't engage, and just but
it's
there's been, it wasn't even Haaland's worst game apparently in terms of like touches and involvement. So I mean, it wasn't like he was marked out. It was just I think the midfield is probably where they lost it.
I think De Bruyne and Haaland's partnership last year has kind of missed a lot. Did De Bruyne break the assist record last year? Did I make that up? Or he was close, I think.
He may have, but I don't think people would have been shouting that from rooftops as they marched away at the treble. I think people were probably like, they have enough. Let's not talk about that.
Well, I could be wrong there now, but I do remember it was like they were psychic. Like De Bruyne could put the ball exactly where Haaland wanted it over and over and over and over again. There's only so many players in the world that could do that, and they're missing it now.
Yeah, exactly. No matter who you have on the bench, like, you're not going to have someone that good because he wouldn't be on your bench if he was, It's interesting to see how they manage this injury crisis. I guess Rodri's back in 2 games, 1 game?
1 game, I think. Soon, anyway.
Yeah, like that'd be a massive thing for them. I mean, just on Kovacic, just before we went to record, apparently a new VAR tape dropped. about the Kovacic incidents.
Now, the VAR tape that dropped wasn't the Kovacic incident. It was the
sorry.
It was the Malo Gusto red card, and this was a case of we've had a bad week last week, lads. Let's put out one where we really look like we know what we're doing.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood you there.
But then Howard Webb explained why they didn't send Kovacic off.
And this is clearly a poor tackle, and I'm pretty confident if a red card had been given by Michael Oliver on the day, it would have been a very straightforward check complete, but he doesn't. He issues a yellow card. I think there's a few differences. The player Kovacic comes into the tackle with the right leg. There's some weight on the left leg as he kind of lunges in. The right heel hits the ground, and then the contact is a little bit more to the side with a kind of like an upright foot as opposed to a side-on foot that we saw with Gusto. A few small differences, I think, that led the VAR to feel that the on-field decision here of a yellow card wasn't clearly and obviously incorrect, and therefore check completing it, feeling that if it had intervened, it would have been a re-refereeing of that decision by the referee on the field.
Sounds to me like protecting your mates, Will.
Yeah, which we've seen a lot of these days in the referee union.
I mean, that one on Odegaard, again, I might be too close to this, Will, but in your opinion, do you think that's one you could have seen being upgraded to a red? I mean, it was nowhere the ball, from behind, dangerous.
Both of the yellows were straight reds.
Well, he didn't get a yellow for the...
I know, but what should have been both of the yellows where he's off. He should have had 2 red cards.
It was very similar to the Jota thing, and that's what people are saying. They're like, listen, you touched him, you didn't touch him. When you're on yellow, you can't be doing that, son.
And this is the thing where if...
Turns out you can.
If they brought the ref to the monitor for that and showed him the freeze frame of how high up his foot was on the ankle, then it's a red card because the ref goes, oh yeah, that's crazy. I didn't see that in real time. But
which is wrong.
Yeah,
though,
which is also wrong.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up
with
what's actually the law, what's not the law.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was a bad tackle. And then it's just, you see, it's before VAR ever came in, you're on a yellow and you're like, oh, there was a lot of finger wagging by Kovacic, which is a telltale sign that you definitely did something bad. No.
Yeah. It's him.
Especially in this age where it's all recorded. Like, why bother wag the finger? Yeah. I mean, like, he can just look at it. He's 10 lads in his ear, screaming at him, telling it is.
It's that classic thing of if a player goes to a ref and says, it's a yellow, it's the most obvious red card you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, if your own player. Yeah. That's a yellow at most. At most.
2 match ban, maybe. Not 3.
Reckless, not intentional, for sure. Definitely reckless. I'll concede that. Yeah, and then soon after that, it's Rice. He gets injured. I mean, as well, it's the 2 most important midfielders as well. It's just, I mean, it has all the ingredients for an instinctive yellow card, send him off, easy decision. But nothing doing for Kovacic. And yeah, as we said, then it didn't make any odds because they got that deflection at the end. Pretty drab game. I would say. I mean, all the talk was afterwards from Gary Neville in the studio was that the easiest thing in the world would have been to listen 0-0 at home. That's good results against the better team. Maybe we'll get something in the City. When realistic is like, we can win this. Let's go for it. Let's keep going. I mean, Martinelli coming on was a huge plus because he actually had a bit of direct running.
Yeah.
And they missed Saka and Martinelli hugely in the game. Jesus in the wing, we saw it for years. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But that's what Arsenal effort. So, yeah, I'd say they'll be pretty happy with that. But it's early days still, and I think I would not want playing City next after this international break.
Yeah, that is what the City of old would do. Is they would come back and pummel Burnley 6-1 or something.
They've already beaten Burnley, Will.
Yeah,
so that's his turn.
They'll come back around. Well, in a sign of how things have changed, Kyle.
Yeah.
So I stuck up a poll on the No Nonsense Instagram story asking who is going to win the league to see what the consensus was. Do you know who? So the 4 options were City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs. Do you know who overwhelmingly won the poll?
If it's an online poll, then it's always going to be Arsenal.
Correct. By 46% to 23% for City, 15% for Liverpool, 16% for Spurs.
Well, I will say I voted in one of the polls, Will, and I did vote for Arsenal. So, you know,
Our votes count triple.
An Arsenal fan, you see the vote, you see the online poll, you're going to vote for your team.
Me.
You don't read it. You just say Arsenal, definitely. This is our year for sure. We're back.
Something I did notice during the game was, like I said, it was a drab affair, but with the big goal.
Yeah.
In the years gone by, we'd obviously have Martin Tyler commentating it, and you go, "Oh, it's a goal," and you kind of move on. Did you hear Drury's commentating? It really made it feel like a moment.
Pushed forward towards Tomiyasu and Kai Havertz and Martinelli is in! It may be pivotal! Oh, that matters! How that matters!
Yeah, you know, I enjoyed it, I have to say, but I'm wary of enjoying it.
Yeah, how long will this last?
Well, once it's the same as the Ange Postecoglou effect.
Exactly.
Great until it happens against your team. It's like, this is bullshit now. I'm sick of this.
Drury, don't you dare say, "This matters. This really matters."
I know.
This doesn't matter. It's only October.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, we're at peak best player in the world right now. Best team in the league right now. I mean, is anybody going to remember who was manager of the month in October?
Yeah.
Will it really matter? There's 2 international breaks in the last, 2 weeks. We'll see. We'll see, if Poetic Peter is right on this one.
Yeah.
But, I think he does add something to it. I mean, I know your man, Martin Tyler, got a lot of hate. And like, he was biased against every team. And he was an old man, know. And I definitely heard footage of him commentating on the 1986 World Cup.
Yeah, there's nothing else for him to see.
He's seen it all. He's seen every combination of a goal that's ever going to happen. You know what I mean? How could you get excited by a screamer from 40 yards? Like, wow, that's more like 50 of the exact same goal I've seen since, the 80s till now. So, yeah, look, I appreciate the effort and the enthusiasm from Pure Jury. But today I do. Next week, we'll see,
Wait till the return fixture.
But we were saying it wasn't a great game. There were some really good games, end-to-end games. No more so than Liverpool, Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
2 unstoppable forces, I would say. What's the phrase when there's a team with bad defense and good attack, and they both can't defend, so they just let in goals all the time? Is there a phrase for that, or am I thinking of something else?
No, yeah, it's the unstoppable force meets the unstoppable force.
Yeah. But they're just like going over each other's heads, Or in this case, just passing it around Allison from 30 yards.
Yeah. What the hell was that about?
that was Virgil van Dijk at his worst.
Yeah.
Stray pass to McAllister. Of course, on his return, gets dispossessed, but I mean, it was a bad ball, I thought for sure when that first goal came in, because I got rid of Estupiñán, Will, in fantasy football.
Damn, I think I did.
And I was looking at Tariq Lamptey, 3.9. It's like, well, surely at the start, And I saw this little guy cut in and score like, the right back. Don't tell me. I didn't get him in the end. Will. I was like, no. It was someone else. I don't know who it was, actually. But it wasn't him. I don't think Lamptey was even on the squad. So,
that's why he's 3.9.
Not even the squad is bad. I mean, that's Liverpool all this season. It's like so good and then so bad in this. In the same move. I mean, Van Dijk, his form is actually a bit worrying. I mean, I haven't heard a single word about Alexander-Arnold's howlers this year, but Van Dijk is doing this regularly.
Yeah, he also got away with a handball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk about the VAR all the time, but I mean, it keeps happening. It's the news.
It directly affects every game.
Yeah, they went 1 up from Simon Adringa, Brighton did, and then Mohamed Salah got a goal, a well-worked goal, and they got a penalty just on the stroke half time.
Yes,
but like there was so many penalty shouts. The penalty shouts that he got, I mean, it was very similar to the way the goal Liverpool conceded, that they passed around the back, they got pressed, turned it over. Pascal Gross just hauled down Mohamed Salah. Szoboszlai in the box.
Yeah.
And a full grip of his jersey. He squares it then to Darwin, who was taken out then as well. There was actually and the ref looked at, no chance. Play on, let them play. And then another guy comes in and cleans out Darwin, and he gives that one. But still the issue is has Gross hauled someone down like in the last man back style to stop a goal?
Yeah, famous red card.
VAR looked at it and thought, nah, probably not. You know, it's just it's a huge problem.
Yeah, how is it worse than ever?
It's just stuff like that where like that's not about having played the game. That's not about knowing the rules or the laws. I mean, that's just like he had a hold of his shirt and went down easy. Like that's never been a thing. So like if he had a hold of his shirt and they both go down,
he fell backwards while running. He couldn't do that if he tried.
I just don't know how to describe it anymore. Like clearly it was to what happened. You know what I mean? You can look up yourself. Like I mean, that has to be a red card.
Yes, for sure.
But it's not because there's this kind of common sense or like, oh, does he want to send off a Liverpool player, a Brighton player after everything we've done to them? Is that coming into it? I mean, it's just, I think this current crop of referees, they're all tarnished with this kind of indecision and, but we look bad and what about the last thing? Like, they need to get in like a whole new bunch of referees from like different countries who have no history, no dealings with Klopp, no dealings with anybody, and say, right, start from scratch and don't make any mistakes. Best luck.
And if you do, don't worry. We're getting a new crop in next week. It's the only way this works.
Rotating refs. That has to be it because there's something that's happening here. They're watching these decisions and they're making the decision based on something other than what the facts are in front of them. Because there's no way you can look at these things. Like I said, the Van Dijk handball as well. What's that about? What was going on there? His hand was out.
That is, like we said, that's always a penalty.
But something is two teams, when they probably looked at the fixtures list, the referees who got this, they went, of all the two teams we've
this week,
the teams we've screwed over the most over the last year, and some of the decisions were like, okay, they're trying to even this out as it goes along here.
Yeah, I mean, like the handball one does come across like we can't give that. Klopp is going to be furious.
Yeah, like to get your this is how you get radicalized. Like to get your tinfoil hat on. Like if Liverpool win that game by a goal, I guess Liverpool weren't really. If Gross goes off, they're down to 10 minutes. It changed the whole face of the game. If they go down, Man City go down to fourth. I think it does get some more reaction out of Pep. People saying you're down to fourth now. That's people would say it to him in the press conference. They absolutely would.
I know I would.
3 teams now. That affects his mood going to train. Like it does affect things. You can't say these decisions are affecting the outcome of the league here, the outcome of the title race. And you're just going to power through with this. It looks like just going to power through mistake after mistake every single week if need be, and let the chips fall where they may. And we'll see what happens at the end of the season.
There was the referee in the City game as well was also very similar to last week. Had, I think, very recently been reffing a game for the United Arab Emirates, who famously own Man City. So immediately there's, at the very least, a conflict of interest.
Well, this is the thing with the midweek games in the Middle East. It becomes a part of the story. With any truth to any connection whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's there. You work for them. That's what people see.
Yeah.
You got paid by them last week, and like you're a ref. Can you not see how that looks?
Yeah. How is the Prem allowing that?
You made a decision that benefited a team, and you got paid by them on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't have to have any connection for people to see that and go, well, that's pretty obvious. That's clear and obvious to me. Like, and we talk about there. I mean, there was conspiracies that Martin Tyler hates our team. It's like, it doesn't make any difference. He's a commentator. It doesn't matter if he hits Liverpool. He's just talking about the game. He's not affecting anything. But people are getting up and out of that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to pay for his TV where they buy his commentator. And they got rid of him. Like, thanks for everything, Martin, but, you're just, the hate's growing too much. There's too much hate online. But the refs get to just bumble through week on week and be like, I just don't know.
I have 2 jobs.
I'm absolutely wrecked. Yeah, I again don't want to talk about it, but it happens every week, and you can't ignore it because, like I said, it's going to affect when it's all said and done. So
it is just the people say it the whole time, but the whole game is gone thing. I mean, like we were saying, the league is decided by who has the least injuries, and then the games are decided by the refs.
And I saw the clip there of Paul Merson screaming at
He's
Mike
had
Dean.
enough. He had enough of this.
It turned into player versus referee, and then it's a long clip. It's like an 8-minute.
We'll put in some highlights.
Half of them don't know the laws of the game's full stop, as you can tell by what you've just said about restarting game for the sake of it. So people
For the sake of it?
Yeah, well,
For the sake of it?
But you don't know
What do you mean
the
for the sake of it? You're playing Liverpool against Tottenham.
You don't know the
one of
law.
the biggest games.
You
You're
don't know
saying
the law.
for the sake of it?
But you don't know the law.
Come on.
Do you know?
There's no law. There's no one's going to die. So stop the game. No one's going to happen. You're all scared. You're all like, oh, no, we're going to get in trouble. Stop the game. Stop the game and then take the circumstances.
It's the law.
Seriously.
Calm
It's the
down.
law, mate.
Seriously.
It's
the law.
typical not played the game.
It's the law, mate.
Typical.
That is the law. And you cannot
Because
change the law.
you know the rules, that's different.
You can't change the law. It's
See,
it's black and white. You can't change the law.
Law.
You can't change the law. Simple as you cannot change the law. They'll have online trading. I'm staying nice and calm because I know you cannot change the law. And you got to blow up like a bottle pop. That's fine by me.
Yeah, well, I just want to offer a few apologies to the sound department.
Mike Dean has his own show.
Why is Mike Dean should never be on Sky Sports News? And no ref should ever have to come in front of the Sky Sports News panel.
But he wants to. He loves it. He's getting paid. Look at his nice shirt he has on, Will. He's not coming in there like, I'm going to wear, my tracksuit bottoms if you want me on here. He's not being dragged in front of the Rock this year.
Yeah.
He's on. He's making money. But, it's crazy. It's like, if you admit to, he admitted to protecting his mates.
Yeah. Oh, he flat out said, I didn't call it back because he was having a tough day.
And now he's on defending refereeing decisions.
Yeah.
Saying,
no. Talking about the law.
It was a protocol. It was law. They did everything perfectly. They've never been rattled. You're a proven liar. You do things to protect your friends, and they're still your friends. They're still colleagues. They're still a mate.
Yeah.
It's just, and they call it, Paul Merson was kind of out of line, out of pocket, as the kids would say. Well, he was shouting and screaming at him like he was a player again. He was very kind of, this is also a huge problem. This kind of he sees as a ref who, he hates him. The ref's like, I'm staying calm. You can blow off like a bottle top. And they told him like a troubled school child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let him blow off some steam. I'm going to stay calm. This is the kind of relationship they have. This kind of student teacher type thing, but zero respect between the two.
Yeah, he's the exact opposite of what kids should be being taught.
Yeah, So yeah, I mean, I think he raised some good points. They raised some good points there about that they're kind of rattled in the bar room and they're so excited when the thing comes in, and he was like, no, they're not excited. He did the process perfect. He said the process is good.
The process is famously bad.
He said the process is good. Well, saying he just happened to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. It's like, if the process is good,
shouldn't come into it.
then he is terrible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you can't be saying, oh, the refs just made a mistake. The process is flawless. The process is immaculate. He just happened to not be able to speak. It's well, then it's the refs. It can't be both. It can't be flawless process. It's not the refs' fault. Well, then what was it then? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And again, if this is an isolated incident, everyone makes mistakes, fine. But the whole thing of we can't start the game again.
It's protocol.
It's the law.
They change it. They change the handball rule every 6 months.
He did make 1 point. I mean, I don't know if it's in the clip there, but he made 1 point about what if it was a corner? And then I decided, okay, don't give the corner. And then we look back, it was a corner. And the game's already started again. Do we go back and say, oh no, forget the last 30 seconds of play, to take the corner again? I thought, yeah, fair. I mean, that would give precedent if you want to break those rules. But then it's
well, how are you getting the corner wrong?
How are you missing the corner?
You have 5 screens and 5 people looking at them.
If it's a case where it's the very marginal ones where they both kick at the same time and you go, not really sure, give it a goal kick. But if you can give it and then look back, you're saying a minute later and go, oh, hang on, lads, there's a fourth angle.
Yeah.
It's clear and obvious now. Now we go back, it's like, well, then the process is wrong or the referee's wrong. So like, you can't have it where it's like the process is perfect, everything's perfect. But if there's a situation where I just decide to give the wrong call, then I look at it for a second more.
I go, oh, I should have just waited.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, now we can't stop the game because it's already started. It's like, well, you shouldn't have to be, like, just take your time.
And also, don't do it for corners or goal kicks. Just do it for goals.
Which, I mean, that was an example he gave, but I don't think he I've ever seen the corner being go up to the VAR room. So I mean, that's just like
a shite about corners.
Well, again, but like he's talking about it there because in his training, wherever they've been talking about VAR, speed is the thing. So he's imagining a scenario. He's probably using that from the example he was told himself, being like, if you give it the wrong corner and you see it's wrong, keep it to yourself. Don't say anything. Once the game started again, we're plowing through 90 minutes. It's a long time. You know? So like, it's all about pace. It's all about getting it right. And I think he was just, I mean, the fact that he's on TV at all is just, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking Paul Merson was going to say something like, you know, outlandish, like, well, we all know what you do in that situation. You mate protecting liar, you know?
I did see, like we said, one of the Malo Gusto tape dropped.
Yeah.
There was a lot of mate in that as well. All of the refs were calling each other mate.
Show me the point of contact, mate. Show me how far away he is from that ball.
Okay.
Do you want the doctor, Luke, or are you right? Angle. It's fine.
Yeah, just go before again, mate.
Does he know to wait, Jared?
Yeah, I'm gonna send over for a potential. What number is he?
They're not supposed to be mates. They're supposed to be professional.
Oh, I know. Another glaring thing there that they obviously don't see as a problem.
Yeah, they're all pals.
Yeah, because it's again, just the information's out there. Like that we're all mates. We're on record calling each other mates, and then you say, "Well, I didn't make the decision because I thought he had a tough day," and then they release these stuff. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's just
that'll be it for today.
It's boring, but I mean,
and that'll tell you as well the problem. The Liverpool Brighton game was amazing.
Yeah, no, it was. It was great end to end. You know, it was very entertaining. It was some mistakes and the defending wasn't great in it, but I mean, the goals were good. Salah's goal was very good. Dunk got the equaliser. I mean, you know, Lewis Dunk.
An open goal miss. There was an unbelievable save from Alisson. Like it could have been 4-4 or 5-5.
It's just the refereeing decisions have become the star of the show, and no one wants that, you know.
And then literally the refs have become the stars of the show. Again, why is Howard Webb on telly again?
He loves it, Will. He bloody loves this. Why is he in such good shape? I thought you were tired, man. I suppose on a wider point, Will, we're talking about squad depth and injuries and all that. I mean, we're in October now. Not that far into the season. We've had a few Europa League games. We had the Winter World Cup last year. It's obviously it's been a long 18 months for these players. We're seeing Brighton maybe go through a bad spell recently. Doesn't get any easier to play City next. Do you think this might be the season where they go backwards a bit? They'll have a quarterfinal, semi-final exits. Well, I mean, I may get ahead of myself. It's not doing that well in Europe at the moment. But like, we see this a lot. We saw it with Newcastle back in the day under Pardew. We saw it with Burnley when they got into Europe. Great season. You know, get a few players in.
Yeah.
You go far-ish in the competition, but then you never get back to where you were because it's just it just
it's impossibly hard to get there in the first place.
And to stay there, to stay on top is even tougher. So, we saw that. We also with West Ham as well. They actually battled back against Newcastle, another Champions League. They had a heroic Champions League win against PSG. They go play West Ham. I don't know if you saw the highlights of that game. Isaac was on for a hat trick. Went around the keeper, stumbled a bit, looked like his legs were gone. Just couldn't finish it. They would go up the other end and get the equaliser. West Ham. I mean, they're trying to get back to top four. I mean, it's. I know again we're early, but like it's slipping away. You know, it's very open with all these teams in European competition from Brighton, Villa, Newcastle, Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal.
I think the now that if Champions League is 5 places, some years depending on the coefficient and stuff, I think that makes it even harder. Weirdly, because it means now a United or a Chelsea or someone can go, all right, lads, 5th is all we're going for. They don't care about, like, 5th will do us. Whereas before, it's probably 4th or, we've blown the season now, and they'll plummet down the table while Brighton or someone takes their place. But now if you're aiming for 5th, that's probably pretty easily achievable.
Yeah, it's definitely going to make it more competitive towards the end because, you can see mathematically what you need and how you're playing, but it does make it a little bit more attainable if it's one place below. But, I mean, it is going to be mad to have, like, a Liverpool or United, like, multiple time winners of the competition, like, yes, 5th place in the league.
It's a joke. Again, the whole game is just... It's an absolute shambles.
Like, we've been used to 4th for so long, and obviously before that it was only 3 places. But in our lifetime,
the 4th thing as well.
It's
it's ridiculous.
It must have been when it first went to 4. Like, the generation ahead of before us was like, I can't believe they're. I mean, we did see a lot of that.
Arsenal, famously, yeah.
That was the old people who used to be 1, 2, 3, then down to 4. Like, for me now, seeing 5th place. That's going to be celebrated this year by someone. It's like, oh my God, that is pathetic.
How far we've fallen.
Yeah,
and it's definitely going to be like a United or like one of the bigger teams.
Well, like if it's Chelsea, United, or Liverpool, or City, it won't be City, but they're all winners of the competition, and now they're like, yes, 5th. And this is the richest league in the world. It's
thank God they changed the rule. It was really hard for us those last few years.
Yeah, and does that affect the Europa League or the conference? That's just like put one place down, or
I think everything just bonks down one, as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna. It's just. I feel like it's the rich getting richer, and the Premier League is probably what's gonna end up. But no, it was a great game of a great weekend of games, and the most open title race ever. Will. I literally saw someone saying it might even be more than 2 people this year. I was like, no.
Oh, wow.
It never is. It always looks like it is, and then never is. Obviously Tottenham and Arsenal are leading the way, top of the table. Tottenham, I mean, we should a word on Tottenham. Top the table, fair folks.
Going into the internet, going into this international break is always where everyone is like, right, this is what the league is going to be. We know all the teams now. We get it.
Yeah.
This feels like a big one.
It does. Tottenham are riding a high and beautiful wave. Arsenal do seem like I think we said this last year, could have gone either way. We're like, well, that's it. That chance is gone. Or they could be like, we were right there with City, for God's sake. Yeah. I actually think of this. Well, I wasn't there with it. I saw this the last time Arsenal beat City 8 years ago. Can you name the players who are still playing? Oh, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 players in the starting 11 still playing. Will 2015. Start with the striker. Will, who was the striker? Who was Arsenal's famous striker back then?
Who are you talking about?
I'm not doing a bit. It's not Lukaku. Okay.
I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea.
All-time French top goal scorer. Will
Giroud.
Olivier Giroud still plugged away at AC Milan. I'm almost certain of. When you said it, I was like, oh shit, is he still playing? He is.
Here's why I'm confused. I thought you meant still playing at Arsenal.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I was like, nobody.
No. Okay, still sorry.
Still playing football.
Still playing football. This is how long ago it was. Still playing football.
Yeah, Giroud, Rob Holding.
Not in the starting 11, but it is the one in defence. Will one of your favorite teams, or one of your second teams in Spain, he plays for.
Oh, is Bellerin there?
Yes, Bellerin started right back before the injury. Bellerin.
Yeah. And who's the last one?
Joel Campbell.
Wow.
Yeah, he's still playing. He's only 31, Joel Campbell, but he's playing in Costa Rica now.
Costa Rica.
Yeah, it was a decent team. Czech, Bellerin, Mertzak, Koscielny, Monreal, Flamini, Walcott, Ozil, Joel Campbell, Drew. There's actually one more, Will, in centre mid that is still playing that you forgot.
Who's that?
Aaron Ramsey.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But the rest of them are long since retired. Same with most, if not all, of the City team. Joe Hart's still playing with Celtic, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Sagna, Otamendi, Iliki Mangala, remember that $40 million pound flop?
Yeah.
Alexander Kolarov, he ran so that he walked so that Cancelo could run. Fabian Delph, this isn't a great team. Fernandinho, Yaya Toure, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, and Aguero. Yeah, not the best City team that's ever been. But yeah, that's how long ago it was for Arsenal. Yeah, I think they've been emboldened by their almost win there last year. So yeah, I think I could see Tottenham and Arsenal stick around for a long time, but just in terms of this season, but just the way it's gone.
Yeah,
three team challenge, I'd be very surprised.
Yes, and Arteta more so was very lucky that they didn't concede the very close call from Raya nearly booting it off. Was it Foden and deflected it into the goal?
Julian Alvarez was too fast.
Yeah. I think if that goes in, Arsenal's season goes off the rails.
I mean, when I saw it first, I thought, how is that not gone in? And then the replay was that he got right in front of him. Like, usually you just get a toe to us and it kind of flicks in.
He passed him. He was too quick.
He passed him. You could have taken him off his toe. He was there so fast. I mean, yeah, we did a bit on the goalies before, but that is a problem waiting to happen. Of course, then cuts to Ramsdale.
He wasn't clapping this one.
No, he was doing the Lenny from The Simpsons, just watching, thinking. But speaking of 8 years ago, 2015, Eden Hazard.
Yeah,
he left Chelsea only 4 years ago. So 4 years after Arsenal last beat City, Eden Hazard was at the peak of his powers at Chelsea.
That makes it sound insane.
But perspective can really mix things up, can it? I mean, that's the sad thing about Eden Hazard's retirement today, that the last 4 years have really taken away from the rest of his career.
It's turned him from I've never seen a world potential best player in the world, not right now, over several seasons.
Yeah.
Go to a Streets Will Never Forget player. Is this the first ever? Is this the highest ever drop from great player to Streets Will Never Forget?
Yeah, because I mean, to be fair, if you're a great player, I mean, the Streets never forget Ronaldinho, and he's won everything. He's won the Ballon d'Or, but you can also be a Streets never forget and never be considered to be one of the best. You
never lived up to what you could have been.
Yeah. So you can be both, but Hazard is definitely one. I mean, you think back to, I remember when Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012, against all the odds, and Hazard was the hottest thing in Europe. He won the league with Lille the year before.
Yeah.
And this was this is the guy, he's going to be the player he wants. And Chelsea were kind of lucky that they won Champions League. They went, I'm going to go to Chelsea. That's a really good team. And I think that year they got knocked down the group stages and they won the Europa League that year, that first year. And he was just unbelievable for Chelsea that entire time. I mean, I remember scoring that goal against Arsenal. It's always fucking played. I saw it 3 times today.
Yeah.
Where I think his Coquelin just tries to follow him, just falls over, inexplicably spins around and falls over, and Koscielny and Mertesacker just backing off. But he was very quick. He had unbelievable feet, and he scored some really, really good goals. He got Player of the Year in 2016-17, I think it was.
Famously, Jack Grealish got this reputation over the last years, but famously the most fouled player in the league.
Yes.
Because the only way to stop him was to hurt him, and it eventually led to the downfall of his career.
Yeah. I mean, he goes then to Real Madrid, and it's
which is a surefire, this is going to be amazing.
Well, there's been plenty of players who went to Real Madrid that didn't work out. Van der Vaart, Robben, Schneider, I think they all did much better after Real Madrid. So it can happen, but,
this felt like a good fit.
They leave before they're 32 is the issue.
Exactly,
usually.
Yeah.
And this, I think people are tracing it back to that tackle against PSG, Meunier, and did his ankle in badly. And you can look back on did you ever see that picture of the Irish team in the dressing room after a game? And there's Hendrick, and he's 6'2", and he's fucking ripped, and he's jacked. And then you see Wes Hoolahan, and he's also jacked and ripped. He just happens to be 5'6". It's man, he's in good shape, Hazard never looked like that. You know what I mean? Like, it can be kind of like, oh, it's the jersey makes look, but like he was never really in good shape. So he wasn't into the whole kind of working out. He just had, I think he did one of those kind of masterclass thing with Henri because he was working at Belgium at the time as well. And I think he just said something like, yeah, I kind of always just use my right because I'm right-footed, so.
Yeah, no interest.
I don't really, have the whole left foot thing. That's not really needed if I can just run past my right, Doing it all my life. Been getting away with that all my life, so I'm going to just keep doing that. So he was never one to kind of work on anything extra, So I think when he got the injury, it was a fucking rough one. Like the rehab, you hear people say it's the worst part is like you can work out, you can train, it's grand. It's getting back slowly but surely is the toughest part. I think that wasn't really his jam. And then I think when he was back, it was COVID, which he got. And he was, in a new country, injured and couldn't see anybody. And, he had his reputation as being like lazy or didn't work very hard. And then got more injuries and he fell out with Zidane, he fell out with Ancelotti, and just it rumbled on. Like that's all you've ever heard of Hazard. Like he's not fit, or he'd play one game and not do great, be out injured again. And yeah, it was just, it's sad how it ended.
Yeah. He should, I think he's also something that we left out is that he's extremely likable. For years, he was like a very well-liked player by, I think, everyone, not just because he was unbelievable on the pitch.
Yeah.
We always saw videos of him behind the scenes where he was like very funny and entertaining.
He was quite funny,
famously, the clip where he's laughing at, who was it trying to... Ivanovic, yeah. That's an all-timer.
Yeah. Try to speak English. Play the clip.
Support Human Appeal. Please support humanappeal.org.uk.
No, he was great, and it's maybe it's kind of like what at his peak it was like, oh, he's the best player in the world behind Messi and Ronaldo. Like he was during in the 2010s. It was like, this is the goal. You have to never miss a game, like genuinely be psychotic about the sport, and like
he'd score 70 goals this season,
literally, and then he'd be 20 off Messi's 90.
Yeah,
so I guess he was always being compared to that, but I think. He was captain that Belgian team, the golden generation, which I think he epitomizes that Belgian team.
Yeah.
Where he had all the talent in the world and people are saying, oh, he's going to win the next Ballon d'Or after Messi and Ronaldo. Surely
they'll definitely win the World Cup.
Now they're 30, they'll slow down and Hazard will be the first one in there. It'll be Hazard and Neymar's world, And the same with Belgium was they have all the ability, they have leaders, they have attacking players, they have midfield, but they never even got to a final. And it feels like as good as they were and as good as Hazard was, it feels like he never got to a final in a sense of achieving his potential.
Yeah.
But he was very relaxed, very chill. I don't know how much he cares about it. It's I think we're thinking he should be like Ronaldo. He should be hairless and fucking, focus on the goal. But I think he was I'm pretty happy with my multiple trophies and captaining my country for years, and he's a second top goal scorer behind Lukaku, and he's a fucking winger. Do you know what I mean?
It's I'm sure he's pretty chill about being, hey, I was still the best player in the Premier League for 4 years. I was that. That still counts.
That's why it's so weird, this whole Madrid chapter at the end. It's it shouldn't, you want to just take it out. You know what I mean? You wanted to spend 2 years at Madrid and then play 2 years in Belgium and say, yeah, no, he was fucking quality. Madrid is Madrid,
Yeah.
Look at what happened to Gareth Bale in Madrid. That doesn't mean you're a bad player. But for him to just barely play is so annoying because the kids
I forgot what he's like.
The kids won't know, Will.
Yeah.
They haven't seen it. So yeah, it's a very strange one, the Hazard thing. But we, from all of us here at No Nonsense Pod, we wish you the best in retirement.
From the No Nonsense team.
Yeah, the team.
Us, all the people behind the microphone, all the people at the social media team,
all the producers, all the doctors, the
video editors,
solicitors, The legal team, especially, they love you.
Chefs, everyone in the canteen.
The drivers, the personal drivers.
The reception.
The receptionist who works.
Everyone in the Dubai office.
Oh, the Dubai office. Well, I'd nearly forget our latest office here, the Dubai office. Kamal over there. I mean, she runs a show, but she's rooting for you too. And
yeah,
you want to come on the show?
You're free now. You're pretty chill. We're pretty chill.
That's the move now. We're going to see some all time lift in the lid on Madrid podcast appearances, Red and Hearted, I think.
I'm going to say we're not, because too much effort, isn't it?
Because that's what his agent says to him. A hazard. I have the Peter Crouch podcast lined up.
I'll pass on it. Right?
But why?
Because I'm Eden Hazard.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama.
This is a
utter, shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
He was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all
Plenty
the
of
time.
time, no problem.